opportunity to ski or snowboard in Banff National Park should absolutely be on your bucket list. Today I'm going to tell you why, and we're going to go through the 3 resorts in Banff National Park, and I'll tell you which one's the best. Banff has some of North America's longest seasons and most consistent skiing opportunities. Coming here, you don't have to come in peak season to have an unforgettable experience. Being more inland, we get snow that is usually a bit drier and more described as like champagne powder. It is beautiful, dry, fluffy snow that you can just carve through. It is my absolute favorite type of riding. So I'm going to go through the different options of resorts that we actually have out here. There are 3 ski resorts in Banff National Park, which combined have a staggering 7,748 acres of skiable terrain. Between them, they also have 2 gondolas, 26 chairlifts, and 357 runs. If you're coming and staying in Banff National Park, Mount Norquay is our closest resort at only 10 to 15 minutes away. Sunshine Village is the next closest at a 20-minute drive from the town of Banff, and Lake Louise is the third and furthest away at 40 minutes. The ski season out here generally operates between November and May, so it is a super long season. Sunshine and Lake Louise generally open first. Norquay follows closely behind, but it does sit at a slightly lower elevation. On top of that, Norquay is the first to close, and then it's normally Lake Louise, and then Sunshine is the last one, generally around the long weekend in May. Throughout the season, all the resorts have very similar, if not the same, opening hours. I think it's generally about 9 a.m. until 4:30 or 5. As it gets lighter though, towards the end of winter, they do extend their lift hours a little bit, which is really nice, so we get more time out on the slopes. In terms of cost, Sunshine Village has the most expensive day tickets, and then Mount Norquay has your cheapest. Lake Louise sits in the middle there. It is a little bit cheaper than Sunshine, but I think they are pretty similar. I want to start by talking about Lake Louise Ski Resort. Now this resort is just phenomenal, and my favorite thing about it is how long the runs are and the variety of terrain on the mountain. So Lake Louise has so many different chairs. It's got a front side, a back side, there's bowls around. There's just an awesome variety of places to ride there, and you don't always have to go, completely from the top to completely to the bottom. You can do like mid-mountain down, you can go all the way up and come all the way down if you want to. I think there's a great option variety of chairlifts as well. In my experience, Lake Louise also does not have many flat spots, and as a snowboarder, that is something that I absolutely love. I think flat spots are annoying for anyone, but at least if you ski, you have poles to push you along. So that's one thing I love. You have these awesome long runs, very little flat spots to get caught on as well. And I really think that Lake Louise have a great amount of beginner terrain. There's awesome learning areas. Lake Louise was the first ski resort I went to in Canada, and I'd only done 2 or 3 days on the snow back at home. So they have this really beautiful long green run, which just leaves right from the village and takes you back. And that is a great place to learn. They also have lessons to help you, as all the resorts do. But I like that, you have so much time and opportunity to learn on those long runs as well. But then if you are more experienced, they have a park. They also have some great terrain to, do some steeper stuff or some more technical tree runs, things like that. A few things to note about Lake Louise. This is the furthest from town, and to me that sometimes puts me off going because I always fall asleep on the bus. If you only have like half a day, I tend to go to one of the closer resorts just to maximize my time on this on the snow a little bit more. But I do love the riding out at lake, so don't get me wrong, it is completely worth it. It can get a little bit more icy on the front side compared to some of the other resorts, but generally you can still find amazing riding anywhere. Finally, another thing I love about Lake Louise is that there are a few more amenities around the resort compared to the other 2. What I mean by saying that is that there's a few places to stop and get food up the mountain, or to use a washroom if you need to. There's not just that one village. So I think that is really cool, and it's something I do like when resorts have. Next up, I want to talk to you about Sunshine Village. Now this resort has the longest season out of all 3 of them. It is a bit more of a family-friendly hill. That's kind of their target audience, but it is, I think, the most popular hill in town for people who are here doing working holiday visas and things like that, just because it is so close. It has a great variety of riding still. It has pretty good amenities up there, and it is an excellent way to spend your time if you're coming to ski and snowboard. One cool thing that Sunshine Village has that the other resorts do not have is their hotel up there. So there's actually a hotel up the top of Sunshine Village, and it's the only one that has ski and ski out accommodation, which is really cool if you're coming specifically for a ski holiday. Now, in saying that, Sunshine Village is also only a gondola access hill, which means that once you get to the parking lot, you will carry all your gear, get on a gondola and ride to the top. I think that's what gives us such great access to terrain that we wouldn't otherwise be able to get to. So that is really cool. It's a cool experience riding the gondola. And then during winter, you don't have to get it back down. You can just ski all the way out. If you like getting out in the parks and doing more tricks and technical things, Sunshine Village is the place for you. They have so many different parks. I think it's the most parks I've seen at any resort that I've visited. They have such an awesome terrain, and I'm not a big park person, but from what I hear, they do an excellent job at maintaining it as well. So that is really cool. If you're into more of your jumps and adrenaline thrilling snowboarding or skiing, then that's the place for you. Another few things that I really like about Sunshine is that there are so many different lifts and they are quite spaced out. It's pretty rare that you're ever going to be stuck waiting in a lift line that's super long. And right from the village there, you have at least 4 different lifts. You can go straight up and just get on your way and start riding. I think that's pretty cool. The networks all connect up fairly well, which is nice because you never want to get lost while you're riding. I believe Sunshine Village also gets the most snow out of the 3, which is definitely something you want when you're going out skiing and snowboarding. My last couple things to mention about this resort is I'm fairly certain that Sunshine is also a favorite for professional riders. I think I've heard of a lot of people going there to train during, like, at the end of the season once all the other resorts close, or coming out for specific features that they have as well, which is kind of cool if you're into all of that stuff. And then also one of their biggest features is Trappers. Now, Trappers is an old style saloon there, but it is quite a heritage thing. It is like an important part of Sunshine's history, and it is a great place to go and get a beer or some nachos or something after a long day of riding. So that is quite a staple for us locals. Having ridden there for the last 2 seasons, there are more flat spots than I would like. Now, obviously, that's not theirs. They can't do anything about that. But being a snowboarder, I do prefer to have, those longer runs and less flat spots. And I hate getting stuck on the flat. So that is something to be aware of. The more you learn the terrain, the more you learn how to avoid them or where to speed up or something. But that can be a little bit frustrating when you're first starting out. On top of that, the gondola only access does mean it takes you a bit longer to get, from door onto your ski run. Even though it's only a 20-minute drive from Banff, it does take you at least 40 minutes to get up there because the gondola is also 20 minutes. So realistically, from like door to snow, you're probably looking at about an hour. In saying that though, when you come back down, you don't have to get the gondola, so that can just be a one-way trip. Finally, the amenities at Sunshine are pretty much only in the village. So there's an upper village which has a few different food, bathroom, coffee shop, amenities, retail stores, things like that. And then there is a mid station called Goat's Eye where there is, 1 or 2 food vendors, some bathrooms as well. You won't find anything kind of at the tops of the hills like that though. I do think that is kind of what makes it so beautiful and untouched. Like, you get those beautiful panoramic views of all the mountains, but I would like access to slightly more washrooms. Finally, I want to have a chat about Mount Norquay. Now, this resort is the smallest and it is the closest to town. It also has the shortest season because it sits at a lower elevation. Now, I have only ridden this resort for night riding, but I think that is one of the huge perks, is that this resort is the only one that offers riding at night. They have a lit up run. It is just a green run, but they also have a park that's available. I think it's Fridays and Saturdays from 5 till 9. But that is really cool, especially if you work during the day and you want to get out on the snow, but all you have is the evenings. Super fun to go up there with friends or spend an evening up there on your trip here. The rest of the resort though, I haven't actually experienced. So I did some talking with some friends and I've got together a few points to go through with you based off my research and then my friends' feedback. Now, I think the biggest perk about this mountain is that from door to run, it is the quickest turnaround time of all three. You can be up there and on a run pretty fast considering it's only a 12-minute drive from town and then you just need one chair to get up the top. From what I've heard, Norquay still has some awesome riding opportunities. From what I've seen, I think the terrain is more on the difficult side. I know they definitely still have green runs, but I think a lot of it is more towards the blue and the black runs. So if you are a more experienced rider, this could be a really cool resort for you. Out of all the three, Norquay does generally get the less snow out of them because it does sit a bit lower and there are less powder days. In saying that though, I have seen friends go up and have some amazing powder days at Norquay, so maybe I need to get up there this season. I hope that has given you guys a good little rundown and insight from a local into what the resorts out here are like. I do love Sunshine and Lake Louise so much. I can't speak too much for Norquay because I haven't experienced it fully yet, but I think if I had to pick one, I think it would have to be Lake Louise. I love both of those resorts so much, and in all honesty, I will probably spend most of my time at Sunshine Village this season anyway because it is just closer and that's where a lot of people in town go and spend their time, and I love riding for the social aspect as well as the thrill of it. But I just love the longer runs at Lake Louise and the fact that there are less flat spots and so much different terrain to go and explore. I still don't feel like I have seen everything there is to see at Lake, whereas after 2 seasons at Sunshine, I feel like I know a lot about the area. Who knows? Maybe I'll be proven wrong this season. I'm going to be up at Sunshine and Lake Louise quite a bit, hopefully. I am so grateful to live in Banff National Park and have access to these beautiful hills. So if you are coming either to live here or on a trip, make sure you check them out. Ski Big 3 is the company that manage all 3 resorts. You can purchase tickets through them, I believe, or you can purchase lift tickets directly through the resorts. So have a look at your options. Hopefully I'll see you out on the slopes this winter. Bye guys, thanks for watching.